Joining us now is Curtis Sliwa. Welcome to the show, Curtis.
Oh, my pleasure to be joining you.
So, you are an extraordinary person doing a lot of things in your life, and currently you're running for mayor. What made you decide to do this?
Well, you've seen how New York City in the last 8 years has bottomed out. We're back to where we were in the 70s and 80s. It was the motivation for me to start the Guardian Angels in 1979. The high rise in violent crime, all the gangs, the shootings. And I just said, look, I have the experience, 42 years in the streets of running the Guardian Angels and being in every corner, cranny of the city of New York and understanding it, riding the subways, walking the streets. And so it's time to save our city. And that's when I tossed my red beret in the ring back on March 15th, won the Republican primary, and now I'm in the general election. It's Eric Adams and yours truly on November 2nd. Either one of us is going to be the next mayor of the city of New York.
Well, congratulations. And I want to talk about the Guardian Angels because other cities need to do exactly what you did. Tell us what that's about and where you are now.
Well, the Guardian Angels, what I created back in 1979, when crime was out of control for the streets and the subway. Volunteer effort of young men, young women, and adults who go out unarmed or not just see something, say something. It has to do with physical intervention, breaking up fights and disputes on occasion, making citizens arrest and detaining suspects until the police arrive. So it's in cooperation with the police, but it's in areas where oftentimes you may not find police, and you may find that the criminals, especially when the sun goes down, have control of that part of town. And that's where we've been utilized in New York City, and most importantly, now in 13 countries and 130 cities around the world.
So, congratulations for doing that. My question to you is, did you grow up on the streets of New York?
Yes, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. Certainly went through projects and tenements. I've been riding the subway by myself since the age of 5. I'm now 67. So I have a wide range of experiences in terms of what communities are like. And in fact, having won the Republican nomination and also being on the independent party line, I go into neighborhoods on a regular basis where they haven't seen a Republican since they spotted Abraham Lincoln on a $5 bill. So all those years have given me an opportunity to make friends, develop relationships, and know what the communities are in need for. So clearly, I'm a man of the people. I'm not a politician, so I've developed my contacts throughout the city and neighborhoods where most politicians won't go.
I love this city. I grew up in St. Louis and I moved here about 20, maybe 30 years ago now. The thing that I love about New York is the same thing I learned as a childhood, and that is New York is the best melting pot. When you go from neighborhood to neighborhood, every neighborhood has their traditions, their culture, their delicious food, the heartbeat. But collectively, we all love New York City. What are your intentions for bringing that love and that pride back to the city?
Well, number one, you want to stem the exodus. The past summer, 300,000 people fled, and others are continuing to flee, particularly the upper middle class, the middle class, and some of the wealthy. And there's a tremendous sort of canyon-like effect in some of our neighborhoods where you walk down the street and you say, hey, is anybody here? The stores are closed. There seems to be not much commerce going on. You don't feel the vibrancy of New York City, which was the city that never slept, 24/7, 365. The greatness and grandeur is no longer apparent. So it's a long road to recovery, but I'll tell you this much, people are not going to venture into the neighborhoods. They're not going to invest in the city. They're not going to develop businesses to replace those that have been closed unless you have safe streets, a safe subway system, safe parks, and safe schools. And right now, we don't have it.
I read recently that Italy is actually paying people, if you're under the age of 40, probably around $30,000 to move to Italy to start a business. What are some great plans for keeping the brain drain from leaving, but just people in general? Is it hosting more events in Central Park? Like, how can we to come together?
Well, number one, you want to get people who have come to America because they believed in everything about capitalism and the rags to riches story, the opportunity to achieve that. Now that a lot of space is empty and it needs to be repurposed, it's a perfect opportunity to write the business plan that I have, in which you cut through all the bureaucratic red tape that impairs people from getting involved in business. So the licenses, the permits, everything that at times can take forever and a day to get and prevents people from engaging. And then you give them microloans and you develop mentors that can help them through those developmental problems that they're going to have in the initial months and early years of a small business. And that's how you generate the old fashioned view that you can come to New York and make it. And if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And there's a plethora of stories about that. But right now, kind of difficult for people just to make it here in New York City. So you got to help those that want to repurpose space and develop businesses. And more importantly, you want to keep the businesses that are already here from fleeing to Florida or Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Texas, Tennessee, because they already have one foot out the door.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, one foot out the door, one foot on the banana peel. And you're right, they are fleeing the city, and we want them to stay. So good luck to you. And thank you for joining us. I wanted to hear from you personally. And also thank you because the Guardian Angels have helped so many thousands and thousands of families. So good work on that.
Oh, we have also the no kill shelter, which when I become mayor will never again kill a dog or a cat or an animal in our shelter system. So if anybody needs any further information, just go to curtissliwaformayor.com. That's curtissliwaformayor.com, and you can learn all about my campaign to save New York City.
And I heard that you love animals, so good for you. I actually met a childhood friend of yours, and he gave me that tip. So love and blessings to you. Be well.
Oh yeah, I don't just love animals. I have 16 rescue cats that we raised with my wife Nancy in a 328 square foot apartment on the Upper West Side. So I'm keeping it real.
Love that about you. Be well.
Thank you.